And I understand now that is only because of his presence I had that power. I was famous as Arjuna. I could wield the Gandiva bow. I could shoot deadly arrows from that. I could be victorious. All these things is because of Krishna. Not only that, I miss him very much because he was such a good friend of mine. Such a good friend. In this way, Arjuna is lamenting and is feeling very deeply all these feelings. This is what is called separation, vipralambha. That I keep thinking about my association with Krishna, and that association becomes even more deeply ingrained when I think about it in separation. That is a special type of deep feeling and enjoyment of a high order. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. As mentioned in English, they use this phrase. If somebody is absent, then you desire him more and more. And the other one is familiarity breeds contempt. If you're hanging around too much in the material world, then you will not be able to enjoy the association. So this does not mean that every time you disappear, you can expect that when you come back, everything will be gung-ho and it will be great. In the material world, always association is based on gratification. Association is based on your own enjoyment. And when you don't get that, then you don't like it. When you are not gratified, when you are not recognized, when you are not praised, then you avoid that situation. That's why we tend to mostly associate with those people who praise us. That's why association of juniors is very favorable for us, because they don't know anything about us. And they will always talk nice about you. And they will think you are like Guru, pay obeisances to you. And in this way you are very comfortable, and that is why there will be a proliferation in one side. But actually, when we in the material world associate with those people who actually give us instructions, and those instructions are painful, but we take them and we follow them, we actually grow. And then when such persons are not available to you, then you will feel a different type of a pain. That is the pain Arjuna is feeling. But two things are happening, that his instructions are very valuable to me. The Bhagavad Gita is very valuable to me because it was amazing instructions. So good and so much what I needed and what I need. That is what is being spoken about here. Somebody who is your good, deep, valuable mentor. When you remember the good instructions, when the person is not there anymore in this world, then you are able to analyze very clearly that actually this person did a lot of good to me. And then you very deeply miss that person. But maybe when you are there, when he is there around, you don't take it so deeply. In the 11th chapter, Arjuna, when he saw Vishwarupa, at that time he understood the greatness of Krishna. But all the time Krishna was moving around with him like a friend, hand on their shoulders and sleeping on each other's lap and very casually doing many things. But when he saw the greatness of Krishna visually, then it struck him that, what am I doing with this person? Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. Everybody knows him as the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead. And now he is displaying it to me. And I have been moving around with him like an ordinary friend. And that time he tells Krishna that, I'm very sorry, I called you, hey Yadava, hey Madhava, come here, go here, there and all that, and I even ate from your plate and you ate from my plate, made a very big mistake. Please excuse me for all that. He suddenly realizes that greatness. But you see here, he is remembering something else. He is remembering Krishna's greatness, but he is remembering Krishna's instructions and feeling more deeply affected. One thing is his friendship and casual association. But the other thing is really thinking of is that my powers are gone and it is because of him and his presence. Now he is understanding very deeply what it means to be associated with Krishna and what he enjoyed during that association. So Prabhupada is taking that to mention that Shabdakke Paurisham Drishu. Krishna is saying, I am the ability in man. I am the syllable Om and I am the ability in man, the capacity. People talk about human resource capacity building, this, that and all that. If you don't have connection with Krishna, your capacity will not build. It will only build something like you can go to the gym and build it physically. You can build mentally. You can build even intellectually. But really speaking, all that will be temporary. But if you want to build really yourself, you must build in meditation and association of Krishna. That is real resource development. Because you are developing your association with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When you develop that association, you become really strong from inside out. You become really strong from inside out. And that association is such that it will never leave you. It has a very deep, indelible impression inside. That is what has happened to Arjuna. Krishna moved around with him, Sakhya, as a friend, in Sakhya Rasa. And as a friend, he is remembering him. I really miss him. What all we did together. And what a good friend he was. He genuinely cared for me. And he gave me the Bhagavad Gita. He gave me instructions at a time when I most wanted it. He looked after me. He catered to me. He was really concerned about me. Such a person you will miss. A person who is genuine, we will not appreciate when we are with them. Just like many times our parents go away, then we sit and think about parents. Well, the parents are there, we don't listen to them. And they make the parents feel bad that, this, that and all that. But the parents are always accommodative because you are the child. So you are always welcome. But the real effect of the parents, people feel, is when they are not there anymore. All their services, all their good advice, all their tolerance, all their accommodative capacity and all that comes to the fore. Because you are having children and you can see how lousy it is to manage. It's so difficult to manage. Then only you appreciate what your parents gave you. By the time it is too late. You are no more able to reciprocate it to them. Right? So education means knowing the value as it is then and there. Right? That's why Chanakya Pandit gave a different type of analysis. Education means you must know these things. Matya, what is it? Matravat paradhareshu, paradravyeshu loshtravat, atmavat sarvabhuteshu, sappashyati yapandita. He said a pandit, a learned person, is that person, matravat paradhareshu, who is looking at every other woman as a woman. Apart from his wife, any other woman for him, he should look at like a mother. Matravat paradhareshu. Dara means wife. Others' wives you should look at like your mother. It's very difficult for people to do that. Paradravyeshu loshtravat. Another person's possession, you should look at it. Should look at it like dirt. Should look at it like dust. just mann. It is no value to me. Anybody else's possession. Loshtravat. Atmavat sarva bhuteshu. You must, just like you recognize yourself as a person, Atmavat, same way you should recognize every other living entity as good as you. Atmavat sarva bhuteshu. It doesn't say only human beings. Sarva bhuteshu. The ant, the mosquito, the blue whale, the elephant, the dog, the rat, the cat, everything you should give as much respect as you. Because another spirit soul. If you're able to do this, you're educated. These three things, if you're able to do, you are educated. Correctly, he is mentioned, this is a challenge. If you're really a pandita, if you're really educated, Atmavat parad, Matrivat paradareshu. You must be able to see everybody as your mother. Your education should have been like that from the beginning. Education is like that from the beginning. In your head, you see anybody else who's a woman is very respectable. And you address them as Mataji. That's why. That's why you address them as Mataji. People don't know why. Some people are even calling their wife Mataji. My Mataji, completely wrong. Looks like you don't have the understanding. How can it be my Mataji? It's your wife. So your wife cannot be your Mataji. That's what this says. This is the opposite of education. That means, if you say my Mataji, my wife, and anybody else you may call Mataji. Right? But the attitude is more important than just the external expression. So this is education. If you have that type of education, that from that person whom you got that type of education, you will miss him very much. Because most valuable thing in this world is this education. Whoever gives you that education, both by practice, by instruction, and by teaching you Shastra and everything, that person will always be very important to you, whether you like him or not. Mental situations are different. But when the person is no more in front of you, there is no question of liking or disliking. At that time only the mind cannot play a role. The mind cannot play dislike and like. That time only you will be able to truly understand. In absence of a person, you actually learn to understand his real value. That is in the mundane world itself. But here is Krishna's devotee Arjuna. Sri Krishna Krishna Sakha Vrishni Rishabhavani Drug Rajhamsa Dahana Napavarga Virya Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Kunti Devi is saying, talking about her son Arjuna, that he was called Krishna Sakha, such a close friend of yours, my son. She is also talking about him and association of Krishna with Arjuna, remembering that. So, Arjuna, he is remembering Krishna. Never you will see anywhere that type of a situation. Similarly, the gopis remembering Krishna after Krishna left Vrindavan. Very intense feelings of separation. These are heart-wrenching, deep feelings. And they are fully focused on Krishna. The meditation will be very deep. Everywhere, anytime, all the time, it's about Krishna only they are feeling in separation. It shows that their meditation is very deep. So Arjuna has come to Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira is asking question, why are you looking so pale? Why you look so down? Why you look so sad? That time Arjuna is telling, Krishna has left this world. The Yadavas have all left. They fought with each other and they left. All sorts of heavy news he gives to Yudhishthira. And of course after that Yudhishthira also decides time for me also to go, and he retires. But when Yudhishthira hears this, Arjuna is also telling him, I have understood that. Painfully I am understanding. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki. Painfully I am understanding about the greatness of Krishna and what is the meaning of his association. See, he's not speaking about Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That you must see that. He's not saying God, God like that respectfully. He is speaking in terms of relationship. I miss him very much. My good friend. And he did so many good things for me. In terms of relationship he is speaking. I miss him. For many of us who may not have developed a relationship with Krishna, we may not miss him. Isn't it? If you not developed a relationship with somebody, you don't miss him. But here is a person who has developed a very deep relationship and has reciprocal relationships. And therefore he is feeling that. And he is recollecting painfully. So here he is saying, I have the very same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjuna to whom all the kings offered their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them at a moment's notice have become null and void. They have become useless. They have become useless to me. Now I understand the connection. The connection. You see, that's what is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means constantly seeing the connection with Krishna. Moment to moment. We are conscious about it. We see the connection with Krishna. And we act according to that connection. Then you are following Krishna's instruction. If you are in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna instructs you. And you are very sensitive to those instructions, you immediately pick it up. When you are not Krishna conscious, Maya instructs you through the modes of material nature. And you listen to that. And you are driven by that. The thoughts that come in your mind are driven by the three modes. You can see the difference. You can see actually the difference. And the more you listen to that, the more you become attached to listening to that. And the more you get sense gratification out of listening to that, you become addicted to listening to that. Then it becomes a reality for you. How can any other instruction be good? This is giving me fruit of gratification. So normally speaking, becoming sensitive to Krishna's instruction is not so easy. But for a person like Arjuna, in this situation of him intensely thinking of Krishna, there is no question of Maya. There is no question of material instruction coming through the modes. He is completely in Krishna consciousness. So his sadness, his feeling low, is actually transcendental. Is actually transcendental. In transcendence, you can have all sorts of feelings. You can feel sad, you can feel angry, Raudra rasa, Virya rasa, Shoka, you can feel bad, all that you can feel. But it's all transcendental. You can feel disappointment, all this, but it's all based on Krishna, therefore it's all transcendental. And it will not have the same effect as it has when in the material world you feel these things. Oh, people become morose when they don't get sense gratification. They're not able to enjoy, they become morose. They become disturbed. They're not able to control something and have it the way they want it, then they become disappointed. But this situation of Arjuna here that you see is not out of moroseness, disappointment, or I don't have Krishna to enjoy him. No. It's just that I don't have Krishna and I don't feel anything is worthwhile. Krishna is the juice and the center and the lively force behind everything. And because there's no Krishna, nothing is worth it. Nothing is worth it. Even though it gives me the greatest sense enjoyment, it's not worth it. So this is a Krishna conscious feeling. It's very different from a material feeling that we have about somebody's not being with us. My wife is no more with me, my husband is no more with me, my children are no more with me. That feeling, that is different, because that is temporary anyway. So Arjuna's feelings are very important to know, because what happened is he actually had an experience. He was bringing all Krishna's wives from Dwaraka, and a whole lot of cowherd men attacked him. He was not able to protect any of them. They came and took all the wives away. Prabhupada explains in the purport, you will see it's about the curse of a Muni, Ashtavakra Muni, and his curse that you will all suffer because you made fun of my 8-bended form. They glorified Ashtavakra Muni and he gave them blessing that you will become beautiful wives of like this, like this. Then they started laughing at him because he was walking like this in a 8-bend form. Then he said, I curse you, you will lose like this, and this is what will happen to you. Cowherds will come and take you and go away. And then they'll say, no, please listen. And he said, no, they will all be, you will get back Krishna at the end of it. So you don't have to worry. So that pastime happened here when Arjuna was coming back to report to Yudhishthira about the fact that Krishna is left. So while he was coming, bringing all of them together, cowherd men attacked and took those wives away. But it's mentioned that it's Krishna who came as cowherd men. That's what Ashtavakra Muni said, that no, you'll be taken away by Krishna. So Krishna came as cowherd men and took away all those people from Arjuna, and Arjuna was not able to do anything with his Gandiva bow or anything. He felt completely powerless. Then he could see that he can't even lift the Gandiva bow and not able to do anything. Some cowherd men are stealing. I am such a Virya, such a powerful hero, and I am not able to do it. I just can't do it. And that time he understood that that's it. Now I understand that's all Krishna's power. It's because of Krishna and Krishna's power that I was able to sustain it. So in this way, Arjuna is recollecting and feeling very much. I was thinking I am great, but I am not really very great. Only now I am understanding. Like Prabhupada says here, you know the story in Panchatantra, there's a story of the crow who look at the peacock and feel very bad. Ka, ka, with his black, this thing. Look at the peacock dancing, and it felt, how beautiful this bird is. Look at spreading his wings. Beautiful. And it thought immediately, I'll also get a few of those feathers and keep it, and I also can dance. It felt like that. And there's so much the desire to be like the peacock that it actually went, and all the feathers that fell down, the crow took and put it. And then it danced. But nobody saw and appreciated. Right? So it's called, that story is called Shining with Borrowed Plumes. Plume means feather. Prabhupada is quoting that here. One should not be puffed up by borrowed plumes. You cannot be proud of the fact that you have taken the peacock feather and put it here. You cannot be proud about that. It's not yours. And whatever beauty you get or whatever good looks you get is not because of you. It's because of the peacock. So Prabhupada is saying here that don't think that it is yours. It's not yours. Everything belongs to Krishna. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. And we are temporarily custodians of it or users of it or something like that. And at that time, why are you acting very great? That is a very temporary greatness, borrowed greatness. It's not going to last, and it is not yours. It's not yours. So Arjuna is realizing that actually all these powers, they were Krishna's powers. So this is a very important point in our devotional service. We should know that all that we are able to do is because it is Krishna's power. So Krishna infuses you with power to do service for him. Of course, Krishna also infuses your power according to your horoscope to do sense gratification for yourself. That is according to your karma. But you won't get anything more, anything less. But doing things for Krishna cannot be done on the basis of your karma alone. Your abilities already existing may get dovetailed. But what needs to happen is happening only by Krishna's empowerment. A devotee comes to slowly realize this very strongly as he matures, that nothing is mine and I am simply an instrument of the Lord. And even devotional service, some things that I plan may not happen the way I plan, because Krishna has got some other plan. And I must be willing to change it. So willing to change it. If you're not very focused on Krishna consciousness, sometimes we get attached to one type of thing and we continue to do it in spite of it not happening very well. It's because you have a materialistic idea of your devotional service. You can quickly change gears. In Prabhupada's pastimes, you will see that. He said, don't have to do that anymore. Shift. Krishna doesn't want us to do that. He very clearly tells, and he tells, shift it. Very quickly understands it's not going to happen because Krishna doesn't want it. No, but then no, it's not going to happen. He's able to quickly make out that that's not Krishna's plan. So he tries many things and he navigates and finds out what is Krishna's plan. And he does it. He's willing to sacrifice attachment to anything. Attachment to anything and go ahead and do what Krishna desires. So to know that is definitely a very mature state. So Arjuna is a person who is able to realize that I am a nobody. I am powerless. Actually, all the great wars I fought, all the great virya I showed, heroism I showed and everything is nothing to do with me actually. I am not a great person. It's Krishna's energies, it is Krishna's operation through me that made it great. Such a person who understands this is humble. Although he may be in a great position, he never gives away his understanding of the truth. The truth is that it's Krishna who is actually doing it through me. Credit goes to Krishna, credit goes to the parampara, credit goes to somebody else in the line. I am an instrument. I have decided to be a willing instrument and that is my credit. But I am being utilized. This is what Krishna told Arjuna, Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Become my instrument, rest and all I will look after. It's easy for me to do all that. It's not a big thing. The important thing that is you should be a willing instrument. But this is a very rare thing. It's not so easy for everybody to agree with because they are so opinionated, so individualistic, so stubborn about certain things they want to do. But because of the mercy of Vaishnavas, sometimes we are allowed to do. It's not that because we are very great and we are able to do and we are highly qualified. It is just that by the mercy of Vaishnavas you are able to do. So power we have, if you don't know how to use that power, Krishna will not empower you. Especially, this is about absoluteness. There is a saying, what is it? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's a very famous, powerful saying. And what is absolute power? Krishna has absolute power over anybody and everybody and everything. And nobody can ask him. Nobody can question him. He is absolute supreme personality of Godhead. Unquestionably. You can see that by his pastimes he revealed that. By lifting the Govardhana hill on his little finger, by speaking Bhagavad Gita in the war and Kurukshetra battlefield, by showing so many wonderful things of his pastimes. He is absolutely powerful. That absolute power, Krishna invests only in his pure devotees, because only they will know how to use it, because it's absolute power. So Prabhupada had that type of absolute power, and he know exactly how to use it. Why? Because he is very humble. And you can see his writing in the Jaladuta. I don't know why you brought me here, Krishna. You must be having a plan. You can use me as per your plan. I am like a puppet in your hands. You can make me dance. I'll do. This is a submission to Krishna before entering America. He is submitting and writing this. This is his mood when stepping into America. That's why he is successful. He was actually used as an instrument, and he kept saying that also. He kept saying that. How is it possible otherwise? He said. How is it possible otherwise? Unless Krishna has used me as an instrument. To achieve all these things, it's not possible for me. He very straightly told, without any, feeling of greatness or anything. At the same time, he many times said, I will be recognized for this activity. And he also said, what has so-and-so done? I have achieved more than him. Like that and all he would say. Now he openly say that. But it's not out of pride. It's not out of mundane pride. But he wants to tell you that when you be a servant of Krishna and an instrument of Krishna, and what you achieve is very great. Why? Because you're being a servant of Krishna and achieving it. An instrument of Krishna achieving it. Everybody must do that and become great like that. So that is real greatness. Why? Because it's achieved for Krishna. Right. So power, if it does not corrupt you, and it can be utilized in the service of Krishna, then it will be given to you. But mostly it will not be given to you, because most people will get corrupted by power. Rarely Krishna conscious people are given that power, because they are very sensitive to utilizing it properly, and they are very humble and surrendered to Krishna. Only such persons can be given power. So Bhagavatam describes Parikshit Maharaj. After this chapter, you see how Parikshit received the age of Kali. There you can see Parikshit's power. He's very powerful king. He can even go to Kali and say, get out of my kingdom. So powerful is he. You can see all these useless leaders, all completely Kali's instruments. You can see them. The so-called power that they have, they are all under the instrument of Kali. Inside Maya's kingdom, if you become powerful, you are under Maya, working for Maya. That is not really greatness. That's not great in the eyes of the absolute understanding. That is actually the other side of it. You become very low, because you become so surrendered to Maya that she wants to use you, and you completely surrender and you're being utilized. Yenechi aushadhi Maya nasi bar, what is that? Kotho जीव जागो गौरा चंद्र बोले Koto nidra jao maya pishachira kole. All your greatness and all your great success is actually what, Maya is keeping on your lap and nicely giving you a feeding bottle, and you are becoming very successful. But that success is useless. That success is useless. Real success is when you actually become an instrument of Krishna, not of Maya. Parikshit Maharaj was like that. Therefore he was able to tell Kali. Kali actually tried to work it out with Parikshit. Quid pro. I'll give you something, you give me something. Most people work it out like that with Maya. I get something, I'll give you something. You can use me. But Parikshit, it was not possible. He was ready to kill Kali. He took out his sword and he was going to kill, and Kali knew this person will do it. He'll destroy me. Instantly he adopted a diplomatic status. He instantly fell at the feet of Parikshit Maharaj and said, "Save me. I am in your kingdom. I am like one of the praja. You must also allow me to do what I am created for. How can you not protect me?" He challenged him very smartly with, "Your duty as a king is to, if I have surrendered to you, you must excuse me." This is how Kali entered. And then he kept him at bay. So you can, but you should remain only in these places, which are not very popular at all in Parikshit's kingdom yet. Where you drink, where all these 4 regulative principles are broken, those places you can stay. And such places don't exist much in Parikshit's kingdom. So that means you stay only here. If you come anywhere outside, I'll finish you. Watch out. So he was so powerful. He could tell Kali to step back. Don't affect my people. See how powerful he is? He used that power for that reason only. He didn't use that power to go back and hit at Shringi and get at Samika Rishi. How dare you curse me? He didn't use the power for any of those things. You can see how Parikshit used the power correctly. He knew exactly what Krishna wants him to do. He played that instrumental role for Bhagavatam to come out. Isn't it? He knows what to do with his power. I have power, I must use it correctly. I must use it only in the service of Krishna. So he did not wage a war for him being cursed. He said, no, that is providential, supposed to happen. Let it happen. How to use power? You can see Yudhishthira Maharaj, how he uses the power. Where necessary, how to use it. Very high class people. That's why the Kshatriyas are noble class. They are noble. They keep connection with Krishna, and at the same time, if they punish somebody, they punish him like nothing for disobeying the laws of God. They'll take them heavily and punish them in front of everybody. To teach a lesson to everybody, you don't obey Krishna's laws, this is what will happen to you. They'll do that also. At the same time, they'll highly protect their people, their citizens who are all practicing Krishna consciousness, who are being led. You can remain very safe because power rests in the right person. Power rests in the right person. So Arjuna was very powerful. Krishna invested all the power in him, and he used him to fight the Kauravas. And at the end of the war, everything was over. Thank you very much, I used you. And he left. And Arjuna has understood that whatever I did is because of Krishna investing his power in me. So devotees know how to utilize that power. They don't waste it, they don't misuse it, but they correctly use it. They correctly use it. So even devotees in Krishna consciousness movement, they all have power of various degrees. People respect you because of the organization called ISKCON. If you speak the words of Prabhupada, they'll say, oh, thank you very much, can you speak again? We want to hear this. What you should know, it is not mine. Whatever I am speaking, I become great, I get credit for it. It's not because of me. It's borrowed plumes. I am just repeating what Prabhupada has mentioned. I am just an idiot. I never wrote these books. I am repeating what Prabhupada is mentioning. and it is having effect on them. It must be that I have become an instrument to pass on Prabhupada's beautiful instruction. That's all my credit is. I did it. I passed it on. I did the peon job. I did the postman's job. You should not immediately take all that credit and all that, praise, acclaim as though I am the one who's doing it. That's where the subtle problem comes. You know that story of the person who was carrying the DT for sale. He has made a beautiful DT. So he carried for sale on a donkey. And then every village that person went with the donkey and the DT sitting on the donkey, everybody started paying obeisances. And the donkey was thinking, my gosh, because it's a donkey, it'll think like that only. And started shaking and said, blessing everybody. And walking very proudly. It is completely oblivious that the DT is on the backside and everybody is looking at the DT and all that. Doesn't even know what load is there on me. Some load they always put on me here. Sometimes it is a nice sack. This is a little uncomfortable. But I have to carry it. I just know some load is there. I don't know the difference. So when everybody is bowing down to me, what happened today? I don't know. Now you have come to understand what a wonderful donkey I am. After all these years of hard work, finally you're recognizing me. And is walking very proudly. Then in that particular village in the marketplace, the DT, somebody took it, paid money and took it. After that, the donkey was still walking with great feeling and said, why now nobody paying obeisance to me? And he started braying, stop, why you people are not respecting me properly? Because what is of value is no more with you. The DD, which is of value, is no more on your backside. You idiot, you're just a donkey. They were not paying obeisances to you. They were paying obeisances to the DD and you were carrying the donkey, therefore you are valuable. But once a DT is sold, who are you? Just a donkey. Same way, once you are no more servant of Krishna, you are just another person. And therefore we must recognize that when we are serving Krishna, whatever praise, whatever accolades, everything you give, it is because of Prabhupada setting up this movement and Prabhupada writing those wonderful books, Prabhupada giving those amazing instructions. And now you are able to repeat it. And you cannot attribute all that to me. You should attribute it to Prabhupada. Actually speaking, should not allow it to get to your head. That means you are controlling properly your mental systems and you are managing properly. So we should always be very grateful to Krishna for giving these beautiful instructions, grateful to all the acharyas for giving these wonderful instructions, grateful to Prabhupada, and grateful to anybody who teaches us these instructions and makes us understand it. That's all. It's very simple. Nothing belongs to anybody. It's all belonging to Krishna. And if you remain in that consciousness, that is called Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nittai Gaura Premanande. Any question or comment?